Good day, good people. This is the Holla the Truth podcast, brought to you by yours truly, Holla the Truth. Giving you the truth for the future, the present, and the past. But I gotta ask, can you handle it? Introduce yourself.
My name is ROACH GIGZ. I'm a rapper from the Bay Area, born San Francisco. When I was in high school was when the Hyphy Movement was going on, so that had a very big impact on my life and everybody around us. It was kind of just like the culture of what everybody was just doing. And so it was a lot, not like a genre of music, it's just the way that we kind of all just were and acted because we grew up on these hyphy artists and Mac Dre and just the whole style, you know.
So, is there a difference between Bay Area music now and then?
I feel like now it's not necessarily as hyphy, like in the sense of back then it was just like people were really going crazy. It was all about popping pills, driving crazy, like doing wild stuff. Like I was young doing a bunch of stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing because of the hyphy movement. I think now it's more kind of toned down, but now I think it is more of a musical thing where it's like they have got inspiration from the sounds of back then and built on it. And so now the music is kind of like hyphy based, but maybe the culture isn't hyphy. You know what I mean? Like that.
Like more of a get hype, but don't go overboard.
Don't overdo it. Yeah, it's more of like a calm hyphy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
So you mentioned Mac Dre, but are there any other like people that influenced you per se to get into?
Growing up, I listened to like all Bay Area music, like everybody from like Keek the Sneak, Quinn, Nicotina, like Selski, like everybody, like I really listen. So like all Bay Area rap kind of influenced me coming up, and Mac Dre just happened to be the biggest influence, along with people like the Jacka and Hustler and people like that. Like it's really too many to name.
Was there anything in particular that influenced you into wanting to be a rapper?
I feel like just growing up and loving music, and like I remember being young, like recording on actual cassette tape songs off the radio and hiding CDs that I didn't want my mom to find. And like I've always just been into it, you know. And then I've also been kind of like an artistic type person, so I guess it was kind of natural. And then also I had friends like that would freestyle and rap more than I probably would. And then eventually I just kind of was like, forget it, let me try. And then I kind of liked how I sounded doing it. Other people liked it, and we just kept going.
Where do you get the inspiration for your lyrics?
I feel like I'm inspired by like everything. Like you wake up, you go throughout the day, you go outside, you meet new people, maybe go out at night, and just every situation could like spark something that you can remember, and that will kind of influence you once you hear the right beat to put that experience to. I'm very inspired by just like everyday stuff, everyday situations. Also, I have a big imagination, so I just go different places. Some things I can't explain, and some days I'm not inspired at all, and I can't write anything. But it's really just like, it's just life, you know?
Could you break down the creative process behind you actually like making the song?
Yeah. So most of the time, it'll either be a producer will send me some music. They'll probably send me a collection of beats they produce. I'll go through them. If I find one I like, I'll take that and then I'll work on it. Usually I write at home and then come to the studio and just record it. Unless I'm with like somebody who's producing in the studio, then I might just like write along while they're creating the beat. And so those are the two main ways of how I actually like get the music behind it. And then, I just record it. We take it I usually record it and get it mixed and, switch things up, change things around, you know, a little bit, try to get it perfect, maybe redo something, and that's it.
Do you feel like there's a correlation with the Bay music and like the early 80s East Coast?
All credit has to go to New York. They started it, you know what I mean? They started rap, period. So the whole idea of the hip hop culture, so I mean, you have to give them their respect and their due. I feel like the sound that is known as like New York sound is much different than what we've done. Like our sound is like the Too Short sound, and their
So it's
sound,
more original.
yeah, it's. I don't think it's based off that as much, but just being part of the hip hop culture and rapping in itself, they started that. But I think we kind of grew our own flower, did our own shit, did our own thing.
Is the Bay Area rap scene, or like the community, compared to like LA or Atlanta or the East Coast?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we're in our own world. Like there's times where some things might get a little more mainstream, but for the most part, all the Bay Area superstars, you could be a superstar in the Bay Area in Northern California. Nobody else has heard of you ever. You know, in Atlanta. And usually if you pop in Atlanta or pop in LA, everybody kind of hears about you. But there's stars here that could just go their whole career and just live off independently what we're doing out here. And I think that's the main difference. And I think that the older people like 40 and Short and Dre laid that foundation of being able to just make it happen for yourself. And I feel like other people have taken that on and done their own versions of that, but I feel like that's a real Bay Area mentality to just make it happen on your own. So I think that's the main difference, you know, in terms of how we do things. In terms of musically, I mean, I don't know, everybody influences everybody a little bit, so you're gonna see connections here and there and there. You're gonna put it all together and you get it. I mean, one of the biggest producers in Atlanta is from the Bay, Zaytoven, so it's like, and then Mustard has his thing going on, and that's like influenced by Bay Area music, Short, and also Lil Jon, because he was the one that did a lot of the Tell Me When It Goes and stuff. So, you know, it's just all.
You yourself recently released a project, Float.
Yeah, the flow.
I'm gonna play the Drunk With You in Class. Can you like,
Okay.
kind of the inspiration behind that?
Behind that song?
Yeah.
Drunk With You, I recorded. I was with my friend Remedy and Marlo and the producer Nima. We were at a studio in San Jose, and we were just playing around. I told him, I wanted something to feel good. Like I wanted a song that could make you smile and that you could just play on a sunny day type thing. You know, that was kind of the vibe I was going for. And so we just created the beat from scratch. We were just vibing, and Remedy came up with like a kind of melody for the hook, and then I like came up with the words and stuff, and I just laid it, and I think I just laid the hook that day, came back, recorded the verses the next time I was in there, and that was that. People were liking it, so.
Okay. So that about wraps it up. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
Again, that's Roach GIGZ. Just dropped a project, Float. Find it on iTunes, I believe.
Yes, iTunes, SoundCloud, all that.
Appreciate
Thank you. Yeah, for sure, man.
you. Yeah, definitely.